Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight with us as our school community will share with you their course and their classroom expectations for the school year 2020-2021. So before we start, I would like to inform you that this session is being video streamed and it will be submitted to your homes tomorrow. I'm João Arruda, the principal of the school, and I would like to welcome you all to our grade 6 open house. The school home connection is extremely important in a child's education, especially now that we have some students that are not present in front of us daily and some students that attend the hybrid model. So communication is key. Our faculty and staff is always willing and open to communicating with you about your child's progress and challenges. Teaching and learning is very different these days, and we have to make adjustments to better serve our children and bring them a brighter future. So this faculty and staff in front of you tonight has worked tirelessly to make that happen. And I would like to publicly thank them for their efforts and for a job well done. As you probably have heard or read, it takes a village to educate a child. So please allow me to introduce some of those village members that have a daily impact on your child's life. So please let me start with my assistant principal of teaching and learning, Mrs. Lisa Goodwin. Slide number 2.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Lisa Goodwin. As Mr. Arruda said, I am the Vice Principal of Teaching and Learning. I manage all matters pertaining to curriculum and instruction. Some examples of that are all the professional development and planning, coordinating the instructional coaching, and the professional learning communities. I also oversee testing, our STAR testing 3 times a year, which is our universal screener, and then our RICAS and NGS assessments, which are our state assessments that are given in the spring. Using the data collected from these assessments, I organize and manage our data meetings with grade level teams every 6 weeks, as well as our academic target teams for reading and math. It's so good to see our students back in school this fall. We miss them, and I look forward to continue working with them as we go along this year. Thank you.
Jake, I'm going to need slide number 2 for grade 6. And as you are doing that, I will introduce my Director of Student Services, Mrs. Storm.
There we go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Pamela Storm. I'm Director of Student Services at the middle school. I oversee bus transportation, student expectations, and attendance at the school, making sure that our students are reaching their full potential academically as well as socially and emotionally. I also oversee the behavior target team, which is part of our MTSS in the building.
This is Michelle Mishno, our student support specialist.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Mishno. I'm the student support specialist. I serve as part-time administration, part-time guidance at the middle school. I'm our building 504 coordinator, and I serve on several teams such as the leadership, the student support team, guidance, data teams, and state testing teams. I'm here to support you and your child with any questions or concerns that you have as we help each other navigate through our middle school years.
Thank you. Also with our support staff, we have our psychologist, Ms. Jasmine Clark.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Clark. I'm the school psychologist here at PMS. I work with students in grades 5 to 8. My work involves supporting students' learning and behavioral needs. I focus a lot on social emotional learning within individual and group counseling sessions. I also work very closely with not only the student themselves, but also with their families and teachers to help our students be successful, not only in the classroom, but socially, behaviorally, and emotionally. I'm also in charge of conducting the cognitive and social emotional evaluations for special education eligibility.
Thank you, Jasmine. And now our guidance counselor for grades 5 and 6, Mrs. Karen.
Hi, how are you? My name is Rebecca Karen. I'm the guidance counselor for grades 5 and 6. My role there is to assist students in their development, both academically and socially. We have close contact with students, parents, teachers, and administrators throughout the day. I'm the liaison for special ed and 504 team meetings. We coordinate career exploration activities and standardized testing in the building. We assist with the coordination and implementation of individual learning plans for all students in grades 6 through 8, which is a RIDE mandate through our Department of Education. An ILP is a dynamic mapping tool that tracks academic plans and reflects each student's unique set of interest needs based on academic and career goals. So we'll be working with that this year. I'll be working with the students for grade 6, looking at some academic goals and career exploration. We also monitor students' grades and test scores for class placement and educational services. We do class scheduling, and we orient and schedule new students to the building as well. We also transition students from the elementary to the middle school, and also from middle to high school through cross selection process. And I do provide individual counseling on a short-term basis. And one last thing is we do write private school recommendations. So if there's anything you need, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sheehan, as our school social worker.
Hi, I'm Bailey Sheehan. I'm the school social worker at Portsmouth Middle School. I'm a support in the building for students, and I assist with behavioral, emotional, and social needs. I run small groups throughout the school year and meet individually with students either as needed or regularly. And I also work collaboratively with other members of the support team and the classroom teachers.
Thank you, Bailey. Mrs. Jonkus, our school nurse.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mrs. Jonkus. I am here for all of the medical needs of the kids in the building and quickly becoming the COVID expert with isolation, quarantining, and all that good stuff. Most of you don't like hearing from me because when you do, it's usually not a good sign these days. But I'm here if anyone has any questions about isolation and quarantine and all that good stuff.
Thank you. Mrs. Perry from our planning center.
Hi, everybody. My name is Beth Perry. I'm new this year. I am a special educator in the Planning Center. And the Planning Center is for a select group of students at Portsmouth Middle School from grades 5 through 8. And they're students who have social, emotional, and behavior goals. So I coordinate with the teachers, families, with the students. And I'm also a case manager to students with IEPs in the Planning Center. And it is an honor to work with your students.
Thank you, Mrs. Perry. You can go on to the next slide. We have Mrs. Waugh is our teacher librarian.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jillian Waugh, and I am the library media specialist at the middle school. I see all the students in all the grades. So I teach library and digital citizenship lessons. This year, 5 and 6, those lessons will be in the classroom. Students will not be coming to the library. So I will go to them to teach. And we also had to come up with a system for book circulation because I thought it was important that kids could still get books from the library. So I have the library page there listed, the link to the library page. That's where all the policies and resources are located for the students and for parents. But basically the students will log into their library account, their library catalog account, and will place requests or holds, and the books will be delivered to classrooms. If they're distance learners, they can still request books. They'll be checked out and brought to the front office, and the pickup is Fridays for those books. And they can return books as well. And I just wanted to put a plug in for the technology assistance page that's on our website. It's under for parents, it's under for students, and it's also on the homepage. So as we have new tip sheets or new videos to help with technology needs and Chromebook issues, we'll add different things to that page. So check that out if you have any questions. And you can always email me too. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Waugh. On our next slide, we have the PTO representatives. I believe we have with us tonight the PTO treasurer, Miss Melissa Kindness, and a PTO board member, Mrs. Iris McFadden.
Hi, everyone. My name is Iris McFadden. I have a daughter in 6th grade and a member of our PTO. As we navigate ourselves through this school year, unlike any before, our goal continues to support our students, teachers, and staff however possible. The support we can provide this year will be just as important, if not more. Virtual field trips, celebrating classroom milestones, or teacher grants to help fund items outside of school budget are just a few of the ways we hope to support our PMS community this year. We have some cool fundraising opportunities going on this month, such as our Jack-o'-lantern drive-through coming up on October 29th. But our biggest event for this entire year is the online fundraiser we're communicating to you all every chance we can get. This fundraiser offers an assortment of ways to support us, such as orders of Mrs. Field's cookie dough, Boone Supply home goods, Blount soup donations, or even no hassle contributions with cash, check, or Venmo. Many of the school emails you've received these last couple of weeks included the details for this fundraiser, or you can check out our Portsmouth Middle School PTO Facebook page that is always full of great information. The online fundraising ends this Friday, the 16th, and we're running behind this year. So we thank you so much for your support. We have Zoom meetings every month. Our next one is this Monday, the 19th. We're always looking for more members and new ideas. We'd love to see you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. McFadden. Could you go on to the next slide, please? Let me introduce, please, the grade 6 teachers that we have 2 learning centers. The Learning Center A2, we have Mrs. Donahue for math. We have Mrs. Peckham for social studies. We have Mrs. Ramos for science and Mrs. Straka for ELA. Miss Anschutz is the special educator for that learning center. And Mrs. Cosgrove is a paraprofessional within that learning center. And the learning center next door, A3, we have Mrs. Brew that teaches science and social studies. Mrs. Garia that teaches ELA and social studies. Mrs. Warner that teaches math and social studies. And Mrs. Mendonça, who's the special educator for that learning center. And this year we have with us Miss Flynn, a student teacher. For one, please. ELA.
Hello, thank you for joining us this year's 6th grade ELA. I'm Amy Garrier. I work alongside Nancy Mendonça and Lauren Flynn in A3. And also we have an A2, Karen Straka and Nikki Anschutz. So we kick off our 6th grade year in ELA with a narrative study, and we look at our author study, Gary Polson. We do a narrative along with our narrative reading. We do a writing, and we do some short stories. So we kind of move through the year with that, and then we'll go into other parts, but we also end our year with a narrative unit. So we look at graphic novels and books in verse, where we have different book clubs. So in ELA, when we're reading books, we offer choice. We have a mentor book that we use, and then we also incorporate grammar and vocabulary in every unit that we do.
Next slide, please. Science.
Hi everyone, welcome to Science. My name is Mrs. Ramos and I teach in A2. And then we have Mrs. Brew, who is teaching in A3. So this year in Science, we start off our year learning about weather and climate. After weather and climate, we move into waves like light waves and sound waves. And then we do Earth's history and its systems, and we end the year with organisms. So we break up our assignments into 3 categories. We have our classworks and projects. So we might do different labs. And this year we are also using a lot of online virtual activities to still be able to do labs in a different way. Assessments, we usually do about 2 to 3 quizzes per quarter. And homework is about once or twice a week. And Mrs. Brew is going to talk to you about which materials we use in class. I'll go ahead and do that too. Okay, so for materials, by now I think you're probably familiar with what you see your child talking about or using, but we use a composition notebook for our science journal, a folder, and then colored pencils, scissors, and glue sticks for any interactives that we're doing inside of our notebook as a resource.
Next slide, please. Math. Math. Mrs. Donahue.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Jana Donahue. I teach Math and Learning Center A2. Our topics of study this year not only include decimals, fractions, geometry, and skills needed to be successful in pre-algebra in the next year or two, but also integers, rational numbers, ratios and rates, percents, and we'll also do a data unit. Mrs. Warner?
So I'm Denise Warner. I teach math in A3. And I just want to let you know about some of the resources that we have available for your child when they get home in case they suddenly forget everything that happened in school that day. We do have video tutorials. All of these things can be found on Google Classroom. So we have video tutorials. We use a lot of videos in class. So those are posted on Google Classroom, everything that we use throughout the year for them to go back and reference. We also have a daily agenda, and this is very handy, especially if your student might be out, if your child might be out absent. It tells you everything that is going on for that day, and usually everything is either linked right in the agenda, or it's going to tell you where to find something that you might need. And the homework is always listed on there as well. Also, we have references and resources also on Google Classroom, and those are any handouts that we might give throughout the year. Those are either scanned or digital copies are loaded onto that. And we also have a workbook packet that the children just got maybe a week and a half or so. We haven't really gotten too deep into that, but as we go throughout the year, we'll be using that more and more. So those are all supports in place to help your child when they get home with their math.
So hi, I'm Miss Anschutz, Nikki Anschutz. I'm the special education teacher with Mrs. Donahue in A2. I'm going to be talking about the grades in math. So our grades are broken up into 4 sections. We have homework usually every Monday through Thursday, and they're broken up into groups based on their star data and whatnot. We have quick checks, which are mini assessments, usually 4 or 5 questions, classwork and quizzes. And it's very important for our students that we are clear to our students that to get full home credit on homework and assessments, students must show all their work, please. And for our Zoomers, our distance learners, to please email us pictures of those or show us in class if we ask them to.
Next slide for social studies, please.
Hi, it's nice to see everybody. My name is Stephanie Peckham, and I am the social studies teacher for the Learning Center A2. And as you saw earlier in A3, all the A3 teachers also teach a component of social studies. So I just want to let that know. I'm going to speak for all of us, I think, to kind of keep it easy. So the focus and our goal with social studies is through projects and research to help kids focus on how the past has influenced how we live our lives today. As you know, everything in our lives, from our government to the technology we have to laws and science, is based on things that happened in the past. So our job is to try to find a way to connect to the kids of today to things in the past by doing a lot of different kinds of hands-on projects and a lot of different research situations. So the assignment categories are classwork, which will be various types of things, whether it's online or hands-on projects. Assessments will have 2 to 4 quizzes per quarter. We're also looking for effort and participation. The students are expected to complete a warm-up every single day when they start class, and one is going to be selected every week for a grade, just to make sure that they are participating and putting in the effort that they need to. For writing, we will also be working persuasive and research writing into our curriculum, so that will be embedded throughout the year with different research assignments. The units of study kind of go by the quarter. Our first quarter focuses on maps, which we just finished a brief unit on map skills. We're moving into Mesopotamia as of today. We will also be covering ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, and ancient Rome will be the fourth quarter of the year. So I think I can speak for all of us when I say we're looking forward to a really exciting year, and looking forward to seeing the kids learn some very amazing topics with these incredible civilizations.
Thank you, Mrs. Peckham. And in closing, I would like to thank all of you for being part of our virtual open house. As a school community, we pride ourselves in providing the best service possible to you as parents. So that starts with me and my open door policy. So please seek the opportunity to have a conversation about your child, and I'll be more than happy to reserve a time in order that we can discuss his or her education. I thank you, and you have a great night.